Manchester United this weekend.
Those guys.
I mean, there's probably no better game from a Liverpool perspective to bounce back in. Or the inverse of that is if Liverpool don't win this weekend, then it's going to feel pretty terrible. But I think for them to come back and be back at Anfield as well, I think will be huge, because they obviously had a week away from home, 3 really tough away games.
Yeah, it does feel like we've been away forever. I mean, and yeah, a home game feels like a treat. I'd like to say I'd like to have a run of easier games, because I can't remember when we last went into a game, maybe apart from Burnley, where you go, it's going to be a tricky one, this one. It's going to be a difficult one. We knew Palace away was going to be hard. You couldn't take 3 points for granted. We knew Chelsea was going to the same. We were going before that. We're talking about Arsenal. We're talking about Newcastle. We're talking about even Bournemouth. Now, Man U at home isn't a gimme, but it is a must-win. I thought at Chelsea, God, it'd be really good if we could win this, and I think we can. It didn't work out that way. We've got no points. This is a must-win now. Otherwise, I think the hints of a crisis are going to feel a lot more like a full-blown bloody crisis, even with the draw against Man U. Of course, it's all comebackable from at this stage of the season, but I would like to get back to winning ways. We don't even have to be that convincing. I just think we need these 3 points. We've gone 2 seasons without beating them at Anfield. That's why I'm not taking anything for granted. United have some muscle memory of how to perform at Anfield with this group of players. They found the one way to put a performance in last season was coming to Anfield. It lifted them. They played very, very well. You could almost see they were cheating the fans and manager the rest of the season with how much the level they found. They're obviously not a good side, but they are a side capable of moments. I've watched them somehow, for my sin, seems to have caught most of their games this season. And although they've given much joy, including losing at Grimsby, there are times in games where I thought, they're not bad. They're not bad. They remind me of sort of wilderness years Liverpool at times. A couple of good players here or there, you think they can hurt you. So we're going to need to be focused. It's helpful to us that we're a good day further, from the international break. I suppose that benefits them too. It's must win. Is it the sort of game you choose? Maybe in a way it is. Maybe in a way I prefer this than having Leeds at home this weekend, even though I'd have said the chance to get 3 points on the board would be vital. It would be nice to beat United. There are no bad ways of beating United. So if we can do that, it might begin the reset process.
Yeah, must win, Kiefer?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to go four games without a win at any stage of no matter how good Liverpool are, would be a crisis. So, to do that as like the defending Premier League champions, obviously I know one came in the Champions League, but it'll be really tough there. And as Rob says, you go from maybe feeling, it'll be at the minute it's like you can almost justify the last week, as I said, Crystal Palace were unbeaten for so long, and Chelsea's just, if Stamford Bridge, it's kind of hit and miss, isn't it? And then Galatasaray, it's one of those tricky European games. But I think then if you were to lose to United at Anfield, and especially a United team that have been really, really inconsistent. I mean, Amarin's been there for 10, 11, 12 months now, and they just don't seem to have improved. I mean, the fact that fella has still not cut his hair probably just sums up how bad United have been. The fact they haven't been able to win 5 games is pretty much insane. I think, was it only 2 teams in the Premier League last year won 5 games? Was it Newcastle and was it Wolves? Maybe.
Yeah. It wasn't us. So
exactly.
Sides,
but I think United. I don't think he's managed back to back. Has he in the Premier League, Amarin?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think he has, or maybe if he has, it's only once. It's not yet.
And there's just the stats that you can reel off about his tenure at United.
They're on a streak now, though, aren't they? They've won 1 on the trot.
Is he any closer to getting a haircut, this fella? Then
well, what was his 3 games? Is that what he wants?
No, it's 5, isn't it? Yeah.
So isn't it?
I mean, that was ambitious, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. But I mean, that all the stats you can reel off about United under Amarin are just mad, and like the amount of teams that they've been beaten now that are now not in the Premier League. I think they've only been beaten 4 current Premier League sides, so they are a bad team. As Rob said, they have players who can produce moments. I think Bruno Fernandes, I don't really like to watch him as a footballer, but he can produce moments, can't he? He's really horrible to play against. But he's kind of one of those players you can judge within the first 5 minutes of if he's up for it, United are up for it. I remember in that 7-0, he was just completely off it. And I think Gakpo scored that goal just before half time, and he was flailing his arms everywhere, blaming like De Gea and stuff. But then I remember the game, I think it was last season, the 2-2. Within 5 minutes, he was pulling out for bonus and all like, you know, Trevella's kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you could just tell that if he has his swagger, United have his swagger. And I think you just really need to, Liverpool need to start early, don't they?
Yeah.
And kind of like swarm that midfield, like, you know, make sure he can't get on the ball. And because they'll be looking to quieten down the crowd, because Anfield will be a cauldron. As Rob said, it feels like it's been a while since we've been at Anfield. So, you know, a fast start, you know, you don't want a frantic finish, you want a fast start, and kind of Liverpool can just, ideal be to be, you know, 2 goals up by 60, and then you can make the changes. But I'm sure it won't be that simple. But yeah, it would be huge for Liverpool, because just to beat United in any context, no matter how good we are or how bad they are or vice versa, it just carries so much weight, doesn't it, in the season.